Hello and welcome back to From My Living Room to Yours. Today I want to share our updated plans and tell you how excited we are about the project. Depending on city permitting, we hope to start construction the first part of April. As you've probably heard me say in other settings, our costs for this program, for this project, have increased astronomically, and I am not exaggerating. We first started this process with a two-story building on our campus in the fall of 2018. And as we have worked all the way to 2021, we have seen construction expenses just skyrocket. In fact, one vestry member told us that some things have increased over 400%, that a little piece of plywood costs 400% more than it did a year ago. It's incredible. And as a result, we've had to narrow down our scope and reassess what we actually need to get done. And so we have moved away from any kind of addition to more of a remodel. Of course, the space that was freed up by the closing of the preschool has allowed us to take advantage of some of those areas, and we don't need the additional space. We just need repurposed space. So I'm going to walk you through that in a moment. I want you to know that our three primary goals that we identified early on in the strategic planning, feasibility studies, listening sessions, all of those areas, what came up over and over is that one, we need to replace our dedicated youth space and to be sure that that was a multi-purpose space so it could be used for other people when the youth weren't present. Two, to remove the offices out of the parish hall to free up more space for our outreach activities. And three, to create better access across our campus. So now, if you bear with me, I'm going to share my screen and show you those plans and walk you through them. So where you're looking right now is Belor Drive is up here. I'm going to slide this up just slightly. And Guadalajara is over here. And we have a pathway that leads from Belor all the way through the campus and back out to the parking lot, connecting what is now being called the neighborhood center and our church building. So as we zero in, one of the things I want you to notice is this outdoor area. One of our shade structures is moved over. The patio is connecting the two very significant spaces. This patio will allow the food pantry clients to line up in a dignified fashion under some shade of the trees. We won't be able to do the trellis right now. In phase one, this will probably become the primary entrance. We'll have a couple double doors. I'll talk more about the inside of that in a moment. This patio has some stairs here and a ramp that starts here that can take us from the side doors of the chapel out up to the parish hall, and some outdoor terraced seating. The existing playground remains, except for it'll be a little bit smaller, but we'll still have this playground over here, which will be fenced in and accessible to the Sunday school on Sundays and the neighborhood center during the week. Up here in the parish hall, we will remove three offices: my office, the communications office, and the parish administrator office, freeing up all that space and future space for food pantry activities and what other outreach activities you want to do. The wall between these two offices, that was Richard's old office and the finance office, will remove a wall and have a temporary meeting room until we can afford to install the movable partitions that will later go in here. I'll show you that in the phase two drawing. Also, and these double doors will be installed to prepare us for the patio of the future. The bathrooms will get remodeled, and you'll probably notice it's a little tight here. It'll be plenty of room, but we would have liked to have pushed those bathrooms out a little bit, but we want to stay in the same footprint to save money. And this wall here is immovable, so we have some constraints we're working with. We needed to remodel the bathrooms completely because they're not ADA compliant as they are now. We essentially maintain the same amount of fixtures, 3 toilets and a urinal in these as we have now, except for we add a urinal in a second one. So these will all be unisex bathrooms to be used, however. The other thing that happens in phase 1 is we give a good paint job to everything, and put new flooring. And that new flooring will allow us to install the movable partitions later on without damaging that flooring. However, we won't be able to put closet doors on our storage spaces. So that's a little fundraiser we need to look toward. We will install these double doors that will allow better access from food pantry activities in the parish hall to the kitchen and kitchen outdoors. This will be, we will take out the plumbing fixtures here in that bathroom in the kitchen. But for now, we'll just put temporary shelving to make space for all the supplies we took out of the walk-in freezer. Phase 2 will finish off this whole space as a permanent storage. We will maintain the patio that is out front of the parish hall, both because we'll save about $5,000 by not demolishing it, and it remains usable space that exits easily on the same level out to the patio. Over here in the old wing of the church building, not much change since the last time I shared plans with you. This will all become offices, and the youth friendship lounge will be here. That space will be used by as many people that want to use it when the youth aren't present. The nursery will have a furniture change so that it can do double duty as a conference room during the week with a fold-up conference table and a smaller, I should say lighter stackable chairs. And the chapel work that we had proposed in another design will wait for phase 2. So no work in this area, no work in this area, no work in that area. Over here, we will do very little work, as I mentioned before, in the neighborhood center, except we will install a washer and a dryer that will help us with laundry needs during the shelter or washing tablecloths after an event in the parish hall. One of these bathrooms will be converted to a shower for use by the neighborhood center. The shower team has already moved all their supplies to the storage shed, so that's working out well. This fencing is no longer here, so that the showers team have access to their trailer very easily. There'll be a back door installed here to make easier access for when showers are taking place. And while demolition is happening, which will basically be all areas at once, we will use these bathrooms. So there's a sink here, there's a sink here for our showers. Guests will be able to access those bathrooms during shower time. The food pantry will still have access to most of this space during construction. They'll put up a plastic dust protector across here. And for all but probably 2 weeks, the food pantry will be able to continue as they do now. I think I have pretty much covered the things we have to wait for in phase 2 is air conditioning in this area. As I said, doors on storage areas. We also have to wait to finish off this area. And so when we move to phase 2, what that looks like, again, to remind you, is there'll be a movable wall that can come across here and across here. But that requires quite a bit of equipment to be installed, beams and posts to host that. And so that's quite an expensive project that we just can't do right now. We know that it's important to be sure that we're not just doing the least that we can right now in hopes that everybody understands we're under construction, because we know when a newcomer comes, they take a look around and we have about 3 minutes. Oh, look, Clementine joined us. We have about 3 minutes to impress them. And if they see a saggy, sad set of bathrooms, they're gonna leave. So all that to say that we are very conscious that we might take on some debt in doing this project after all. We had a capital campaign of about 1.6 million. That includes the 270,000 insurance settlement. Out of that, we've paid a lot of soft costs of architectural, geotech surveys, civil engineering, and we paid off our mortgage, which was around about 130,000. The vestry has decided that because we're already paying ourselves back with that mortgage payment in our operating statement every month, we pay ourselves into the building campaign, that we are willing to take on that same amount of debt moving forward in addition to our capital campaign. But it still leaves us with about 50 to 70,000 of things that we will want to finish off, like putting closet doors. Can you imagine inviting people in our parish hall and having our clutter show? So we will do a little bit of fundraising in the next few months. The other thing I want to tell you about today is that, well, I want to say more about that. So 50 to 70,000, if 10 of you pledged another 5,000, we'd be at 50, no problem. I know we can do that. Or if 20 of you pledged an additional 2,500, we'd be there. So pray about that, think about it, see what you might be able to do to stretch towards the capital campaign. But don't take away from your annual pledge for the operating budget. We need those funds too. So please let me know if you have questions, or contact our senior warden, Jenna Dustin. She'll be happy to answer questions. And until next time, be humble, be grateful, be kind, and have a blessed Lent.